So welcome to the Energy Healing Lifestyle Journal Self-Care Challenge. My name is Robin Knott, and I'm your host of the channel and the founder of the energyhealingschool.com. So tonight I'm going to walk you through my journaling process and share some real life examples along the way. So grab your journal, I have mine, and journal with me. So as always, as we prepare to journal, we just get in a space to be open, right? And just listen to whatever needs our attention, whatever comes up. I like to write out the word self-care challenge because for us, again, self-care is an acronym. And today we focus on the letter C, which stands for communication. And in my healing system, I talk about your truth, like speaking your truth. And it's all governed by Throat Chakra Energy. So all right here. And I kind of had a side note for a minute because it's not just speaking like verbally your truth, it's any form of expression, but it's still your truth. And which truth do we speak? Is it the humanness ego truth, or is it from our highest self that's in alignment with the source of unconditional love? Is that the truth that we're speaking? Is that what we're expressing, right? Is that what we're communicating to ourselves and out to others? So self-talk matters. So our journal prompt for today, and I write this down as well. What do caregivers say to themselves? Again, self-talk matters. So as we've kind of covered throughout the week, I was just reflecting back on that. It goes in line with whatever my beliefs are in those moments, whatever the emotions are, right? However, that energy in motion, whatever it's creating more of and intensifying, those thought patterns, those patterns of codependency all feed into how I'm going to speak to myself. Have I allowed forgiveness to occur, or am I still holding on to some resentments and angers and frustrations? Then the self-talk becomes quite negative, right? We talked about having the blame, shame, and guilt because caretaking is challenging, right? Caregiving, caretaking is challenging. So when we feel like we're tired and exhausted, or we meet these challenges, we might feel like we've failed or we're not good enough. Some of that we might even have old triggers from old stuff showing up. But then that mind chatter starts, right? You should have known better. What are you doing? You screwed up again. And then, no wonder no one will help you. And no wonder she's angry or he's angry or, right? Whatever that sounds like. But what do you say to you? We all have that mind chatter. We all talk to ourselves. I know somehow, somewhere along the line, that became like a mental health thing. Like you can't talk to yourself. There's a limit to that, but in reality, we all do, right? May or may not be out loud. And then some people say, well, it's fine to talk to yourself, but if you answer yourself, I don't know, I do that too. Prayer and meditation, in a sense, and we're being open and we're just in alignment with our highest self, we might be receiving that answer too. So self-talk matters. Just bringing that back in again. What are you saying to you? Are you in a space where you're giving yourself kudos, where you're proud of yourself for taking on challenges as they come about? Are you happy that you are caregiving? Are you taking good care of yourself, where you can stay kind of positive, if you will? I don't love using the positive and negatives, but they do help describe that frequency of the energy, right? Lower or higher vibrational energy. Or do you have that mind chatter of the blame, shame, and guilt going on? Mine fluctuates. So let's call that out and normalize that as well. We don't have to always be quote unquote perfect, right? What was it last week we talked about? It went along with perfectionism, but it wasn't the word perfectionism. Overachievers, right? So we don't always have to be an overachiever. We can have the human experience, which comes with mistakes and which comes with some ups and downs and which comes with opportunities to learn and opportunities to heal. And it doesn't always feel like an opportunity in the moment, and that's okay. We're not beating ourselves up for feeling whatever it is we feel. At least not right now, right? Not in the journaling process. I did glance at some articles. This one is from anthemmemorycare.com. It's a blog about positive self-talk and why it's so important for caregivers. Like that's the title. Positive self-talk, why it's so important for caregivers. So I'm just going to read a little bit of it. Kind of reiterates really, I think, what we were talking about. But again, so you hear it from someone other than me. I'm reading it. I didn't write it though, right? So all of us have an inner voice. It's an internal narration on everything we're doing, thinking and feeling moment by moment. That voice in our heads is often referred to as self-talk and is powerful because it can be uplifting or anxiety producing, depending on what messages we give ourselves at any given time. That's a side note. That's important to think about, right? Because we can choose different. We get on the hamster wheel, it becomes automatic, but we can interrupt that process. We can interrupt that cycle. We can break those patterns. I talk about breaking patterns of codependency, right? The BU challenge, breaking patterns of codependency. It takes conscious effort. It takes awareness. It takes being intentional. It takes catching yourself. It takes a while before you formulate a new pattern and getting off of that hamster wheel. But it's not impossible. It's doable. And we just continue to keep making the adjustment as needed, right? Back to the article. For those who are caring for a loved one diagnosed with dementia, self-talk takes on a role unlike any other. It can fill a caregiver with guilt, grief, and hopelessness, and caregivers can be especially brutal on themselves with self-talk messages like, I'm failing mom or dad, I'm the worst caregiver that ever lived. Who was I to think I could deal with this? Again, another side note, you could have those types of thoughts regardless of the diagnosis of your loved one or client or patient, right? This article specifically deals with the company, apparently, with like memory care and dementia. So it's written specifically for that. But I just want to give that side note. So if your loved one, patient, person you're caring for isn't diagnosed with dementia, you may still find yourself having these types of thoughts. So quickly back to the article, that's certainly understandable in that challenges of caregivers can be overwhelming and exhausting, both physically and emotionally. And I know that you know that, but I want you to hear that. And I want you to hear that from someone even other than me as a way to say, okay, you don't need to beat yourself up. This is normal, whatever normal is, but it's normal. It's normal to get exhausted. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, right? We're normalizing the human experience. We're normalizing emotions. We don't have to stay swimming in them. We can shift them, transmute them, but we don't have to blame, shame, and guilt ourselves. We don't have to feel like we're crazy, right? Just because we're having those emotions. So, what are you saying to yourself? I like this journaling process to be personal for you. What are you saying to yourself? Are you aware of it? Do you pay attention to it? If not, I challenge you to try, right? It's a self-care challenge. So I challenge you to try to pay attention to what your thoughts are, what you're saying to yourself, what you're saying about yourself, what you say to others, what you say about others, right? Just really get familiar with your communication and your communication styles as well. So throat chakra energy, when that energy is wonky, you may experience thyroid problems, stiff neck or shoulders, ears, nose, and throat. You may have nightmares. So remember, when we're not expressing ourselves, it can come out in our dreams. And sometimes that can look or present as a nightmare. Let's see. May lack concentration. I feel like I was just doing that, demonstrating that one for you. Lack concentration, self-expression again, or have difficulty communicating. So let me know in the comments how this journaling process is for you. If you're willing to share some of your own self-talk, what are some things that you say to yourself Don't forget to join our BU challenge, Breaking Patterns of Codependency, which negative self-talk can often fall into a pattern of codependency that creates a hamster wheel, if you will. Those cycles, things that we say to ourselves and beating ourselves up. So check the description box always for the links and information and updates. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and that helps the channel. And I appreciate all of you who have done so already and who spends time with me. I hope you have a wonderful day in dealing with my stuffiness here. I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, whatever time in the world it is for you. I will see you tomorrow when we're talking about third eye chakra and acceptance and acronyms, Robin, observing. To run them through my head. So for self-care, letter A, acceptance. My system of best you, it's letter O, observer, and it's all governed by the third eye chakra. So we will cover that tomorrow. Take good care.